Okay, yeah, hi everyone again. So I'm going to be using this W3 school so that also when you take this video, you can also go back to the website and go through it by yourself. So this is going to focus on SQL syntax and also SQL in terms of how do you write your SQL statements, and it's not going to be too advanced, but we cover most of the things that are required as a tester. So based on different SQL platforms that you use, whether you are using MySQL or SQL Server or MS Server or even Oracle. So but of course, we are not going to focus on the platform that you use. So, but we're going to focus on the SQL statements only. Oh, okay. Sorry, you can see my screen. 1 minute. So, okay, cool. So now, for SQL, it's basically to query database. So database is where you store maybe data or different test cases that you want, or even in development also is used to store different type of data. So example is that one that you have staring in front of you. You have a data database for customers. So let's see, this is one. So this is the database. The name of the database is called customer, and so you can store data inside it, and also you can also extract data. So in this training, we're going to focus on basically select statements, and that's which is used to extract data from database. So, and also we're going to look at even the major, I would say, yeah, the major ones. So, think, yeah, the most important SQL commands. So, which is select. Select is used to extract data from database. Update is for you to update your data. As in, if you want to change any part of the data in a database, use update. Delete is when you want to delete any data. Insert into your data. And yeah, more often I think this might not be required because you expect your database to be created already. Or if you want to create database, you use the create database. And to alter that database, you need to say alter database. Also table, you can create table, and also you can as well alter table or drop table. So those are the most important SQL commands that you need to use. So we start with the select, which I think is the most used commands, and it's kind of used for keyword also. So to write your select syntax, you need to write select and the columns that you want to select from. So whether column 1, column 2, column 3, so you specify different columns that you want to select. So columns are tables, so that you want to, columns are different. Yeah, the columns actually, I would say, not table rather. So columns are different columns that you want to select from the table. So the first one is a select column 1, column 2, on and on like that from the table that you want to select. So, and a simple example is select star from table name. So select star from table name will select all the columns in that particular table for you. So a demo database is like you have this particular database, and then so this is an example of database that you have. So and then you want to select customer name from this particular table. So and you want to select these two columns. So let's try to see what that gives to us. So you can click on to yourself. So and these are the two are the statements. So you click on run. So that brings these two table for you. So that was so, and you can see these are different data in that table. So if you now change that to the star to see what comes, select star from customer name. So you expect that to bring all the columns in this particular table. So in this particular table, you expect to bring all the columns. So, and let's see what that brings up. So these are all the columns in that particular table, in this table called customer. So as I can see now, I can actually say, okay, I want column ID, and I want customer name, and I want maybe with their address, comma address. So if I run that, it's going to bring only these three columns in the customer table. So exactly like that. So it's going to bring only those three. So if you want to bring the other ones, you also need to just add them. So that is that. But that is bringing every column that you've listed in this particular table. So if you go back again, so then after that, you can say, you can as well bring, say, I want distinct columns, because it's possible in some instances that what you are getting are duplicates, but you don't want duplicates, you want distinct results. So for you to bring a distinct result and to remove duplicates, so you need to use select distinct. So what that does for you in essence is like, for instance, a good example is if you check on the, let's go back to our test. Let's say select country. Let's bring country, only country. I'm interested in only country. So as you can see, there are a lot of countries, and some of them are duplicate. Mexico, and also there's Mexico is there also. So, but you don't want that. You want only the list of countries represented in this particular table. So what do? You need to do select distinct. So the syntax select distinct, then country, like this. Select distinct. Distinct. So as you can see, the other Mexicos are gone and everything is there. So, and that is good for you, so that you can actually bring, it removes all the duplicates. So that's it. So that is that on distinct. Because another thing that distinct is so good is like, sometimes, for instance, in here right now, if you say I want to count how many countries are represented in this particular table. If you want to count how many countries are represented, I can say count. So I want to count that. So that is showing 91. But apparently it's not 91 country, because they are duplicates, right? So, and so for you to remove the duplicates, you just say, I want return distinct ones. Distinct. So that's 21 countries. So, and that was what we had before. So, um, so that is what you have. So, and yeah, just add the country represented. So let's go back again. So now, because before now, we are only displaying everything without restricting some data, but you could as well restrict some data. So that's where you use the where clause. Now, let's go back to, let's say, a simple example is that brings the country, but I want only Mexico, where country is equal to Mexico. I think that's case sensitive, so it doesn't return anything. So, well, that is capital M. So that brings Mexico for you, but you could as well now put your distance. Of course, I can spare distance. So that brings only Mexico. So that's for a simple where clause. So if you want to write a where clause to extract that particular data that meets the condition in your where clause, so you just need to specify the columns that you want, from which table, and you put your where condition. Your where condition can be different things, so you can put, and I can now say all country is equal to, I don't know what other countries are, maybe Brazil if it's there. So let's say, yeah, exactly. So it now brings Brazil also. So you can see, so that's how to use the where clause. So, okay. So, and the same way also, I think I've just talked on this. You can combine your condition with and or depending on what you want. You can put not or something like that. So depending on what exactly you want. So let's go back to this test. So now I want to bring all the, so let's start from the, so that brings the data for us from the customer, but with Mexico and Brazil. So on the country here, you only see Mexico and Brazil. So if I remove this one, so you see all the data with all the countries here, but I've now restricted that to only Mexico and Brazil. So, and also you could, yeah. So that is, you can use the and or not based on what exactly you want. So I think another example that they did was, so let's look for any customer in Germany and also in Berlin. So you just need to say, oh, the country is Germany, and instead of using or now you use and city is equal to Berlin. So let's bring all those data up. So only one person. So that is that. So the next one is ordered. So we could also order our data based on some columns. So let's bring this one back. Let's say I'm only looking for the one in Germany. Okay, but now I can order by, let's say, city. So you can say order by city, that arrange that in order, in ascending order. So, and you could as well say but ascending order, that does not change. Or also you could say no, I want descending order. So that brings descending order for you from here. So ascending is, which is the default one. If you don't put that, it's going to be ascending order. But if you want descending order, you just put that. So okay. So then the next one is insert into, which I think is so also easy. I'm not going to do more on that. So you insert into the table that you want to insert name and the column you want to insert into, then also the value that you want to insert into that particular table. So, and of course, you need to be careful. If you have two columns here, it has to be two values that you have to put in that as parameters. So they have to go in line. Or you could as well not specify the columns at all and leave that. So then also you need to specify all the values for that particular columns in that table. So for instance, if you want to use this approach, you just need to say like this is a customer table. Insert into customer table values, then you specify each value for these columns for the customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postcode. You need to specify the values. Or you could use this approach, the top one, and say insert into customer name. But in this regard, you need to say, oh, insert into customer name, then you put customer ID, address, city. That's basically you only interested in those three fields or columns. So then you put the value for those three columns. So let's try this. So this is saying insert into columns. So, and it's specifying all the columns. So let's try that. So if you run that, so it said it made those changes. So the same way also you could do that and then remove Norway. So, and that is done. So, but if you use the second approach, which is insert into, then you don't need to specify what that is, but you need to specify all the columns that are required. So I think this is not. So this is the same with the select statement. Or you can select any columns where the columns name is null. That means there's nothing inside it, or there's always something inside it that is not null. So that's another one. I think I will go from there. So update, like I said, update is when you want to change any column in that particular table. So the syntax is you write your update, the name of the table, then what you want to change. I want to change column name to I want to change a field in column name to this one. I want to change also column 2 to this one. But if you don't put your where clause, because you are not actually saying that which parts should they change, so that means it's going to change everything in your table. But your where clause now limits those ones that you want to change, to say please do change anywhere this condition is met and change these columns to this value. So a good example is what we have here. So I'm saying update my column customer table, but only set contact name to Alfred Schumnitz, and also city to Frankfurt for any customer ID which is equal to 1. Let's try that. First thing before we do that, let's try to see what is. Let's do a select statement. Select star from customer. So, but I want customer where ID is that. So that brings that for me, so I can see that there. So now I want to change that data. So basically now I want to say I want to set my contact name, which was this before. I want to change it to that. Also my city is now going to move from Berlin to Frankfurt. For customer ID is equal to 1. So, and that is that. So I can run the code, and that is that. So now if I do the select again, select star from customer, so now you can see the name is changed, and also the customer name also, it's no, sorry, contact name is what we changed, and also we changed the city. So basically, so the same way also, let's do that, and where country is equal to Brazil. So now I can change data for everyone here, which is like, okay, I want everyone in Brazil to be Alfonso, or okay, maybe a good example is like, oh, there was a mistake. Everyone in Brazil in this data should live in Sao Paulo. So I want to change that. So what I'm going to do is put my update statement, update. Now I want to change my city to, okay, I can use the last part, city to Sao Paulo. Let's see, Paulo, anyway. So, so then that is that. So then if I run that, so it said 9 record is updated. So now I can select star from customer where that. So you can see all the cities are now updated to Sao Paulo for. So, but if I remove that, you can see the other data are not updated. It's only the one for the Brazil that are updated. So that is that on that. The same thing also for delete. So you can delete from where your condition is met. So the same way you can say, let's use this one. Okay. Delete from customer where country is Germany. Okay, that means we don't collect, we don't allow customers from Germany any longer. So we want to remove all of them. Then, so that 11 record is gone. So if you say select start from customer where that, it should return null. So, and if you we do that, so that should bring other countries for you, but without Germany this time around. So that's so use the delete to delete from your table. So basically, so there are also select top, which is to select the top one, select maximum, minimum, and all those ones. So I'll just do a quick demo of those ones. So like that. So select top three. So that's going to select only the first three one. That's taking time to load. So that's taking a lot of time because it's going to, yeah, okay. Let's use it, other one, limit to 3. Let's see if this is finished. Yeah, it's not yet finished. So, okay, so that select, because for instance, you could do something like that. So that brings everything for you, but now you want to limit it into only 3. So you want only 3. So that is going to bring the first 3 for you based on your query. So also you want to get minimum and maximum. So for instance, I think I'll close this one. It's not even closing. Wow. Okay. Let's continue. So let's see. Select star from. So I think okay, they've got another what's it called table. So now we want to get minimum price, and ask is you want to use like a alias, so that brings the minimum price for you from the table. So this is going to go into the product table, and let's say select price. I want to get all the prices. So these are all the prices, but that is not what I want. So that should be, that is price, not as. So because if you do this, you could do something like as my price. So anything you say as, that replaces as your label is called alias in SQL. So that replaces your label. So but that brings, you can see the query brings every price that you have. So for, you cannot say I want minimum 1, the smallest one. So that brings 2.5, which I think is, you can also say you want maximum 1. So that is that. So, and also you can count number of items. I think we used this before in the other one. So like also, I think this is also very important also. And let's look at the, so let's go to the customer, select from customers. So now looking at that table, I want a good example would be, Okay, I want people with maybe Maria, Mario, or Martin, or something like anyone starting with MAR. So let's say where contact name like. So what do I want? I want them starting with MAR. So what that does is like I'm only particularly interested in customer that's got their contact name starting with MAR, Martin, Martin, Maria, Mario, so and Mary. So that is what I want. So and I don't, then the rest doesn't matter to me. So and that's it. But I could also limit it more than say, oh, I want it to have Mar, and also I want it with I and let's say Mar, and also I, then so what that does is now that I want everyone that's got MA starting, I don't care what follows, but before then they should have I in their name. So which means that MAR and it's got I in it, and also Maria it's got I, and also Manuel and it's got I at the end. So some of them have that was there before. I think Martin was there also. So it's basically you can use this to limit some field or some columns you want, and you could do something like what's a good example? I want city that starts with B. Cities like B. So okay, so that's what you have. So it's going to be every of the city with B, and with so you can bring out customers living in any city starting with B. So that is that. So wildcard. So it's also similar to what we've done before. So it's you need to use it like, so like find any values that start with A, so ends with A, or so you could mix and match like this one's like that has got all within them, or starting with slash and R, and starting with slash and R, but it's got something and also it's got slash within them. And the same way also you could use something like for email addresses. So example is like I want email where email, so how does email goes like that. So you want, so I don't care what happens. So you want some fields and to follow with maybe dots and another field if it's that. Then also you want the art, then some fields, you want the dots, then you want that. So that you can now get some fields that follow that pattern like that. So well, that's just an example. So the next one is in your condition. You could have in or between or that. So I'll go with a small example. So now I'm looking for customers living in living in Ban in Ban and Berlin, yeah. So that brings customers living in only these cities in Berlin and also in Bergamo. So for us, so those are the two ones. Or you could also say country in Brazil and Italy. So like that. So that's the end. Also, you can use between also, like this is an example if you want to get age of people or price. So that's an example. I want price of product between 10 and 20. That's another thing. So I've discussed about aliases that you can say select customer name, but you don't want the customer name because what happens is that the column name could be something that is not user friendly, and you want to change that to something that it's user friendly. So a good example is like, for instance, you have customer ID that and that, but you don't want that. Let's say, for instance, I want customer name from that. So if you do that, that brings the customer name, but I don't want it to be customer name. I want it to be name. I can say as name. So that will be changed to name. So like that. So now most interesting part is the joins. So now you use join to join two tables together. So and there should be something common between those two, so that you don't have a matrix that's not joined. You cannot join together. So one is like, the first one is called inner join, and there's also left join and also right join, full join. Full join is basically, okay, I would call them one after the other. So the first one, you have two tables. This is first table and this is the second table. Oh, in that regard, okay, I think I found this one interesting. So the inner table, the inner join, you have these two tables. You have these two tables, and you want to join them together. This is going to bring you have a column that's common to them. So in this regard is customer ID that is common to this particular two tables. So customer IDs is common to them. So then what do you need to do? How do you write your statement? So you want to select, already we know this, you decide which columns you want to display. That's okay. Then from which table you want to get it, from the customer table. And I think this is alias also. You're saying now, from now, make my customer C. So when I write C, I actually mean customers table. So I want to join it with other table, and also from this moment when I write O, I mean the other table. So now, so you are selecting these columns from customer table and also joining them with the others table. But how are we joining them? I'm joining them based on customer table I should have the customer ID, and also on other table I should have customer ID. So basically you're going to find where these are common. So if you look at one after the other and see, here we have 1 and there's also 1. So that means this guy George is going to be returned. The second one, 2, we don't have, oh, okay, we have 2 also here, 2, and which means that John also will be returned. So the next one is 3, so which means 3, and also Thomas is there. So the next one is 4. So 4, we have 4 here, but we don't have 4 in the customer ID. So that means James Madison is not going to be returned, because in this particular table we have customer ID 4, and in the other we don't have 4. So in customer 5 is here, customer ID 5, but over here we don't have. So basically it's going to return 1, 2, 3. So and okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is what it's going to return. But however, since customer 3 appears twice, so it's going to bring that twice also. So on here. So in essence, this is like saying, okay, I want any customer that's got an ID that's ordered. So because when you are designing your database, you have a table that you stored your customers. Their details is stored in a different place. As they made orders, you create another table and you store those orders in there. But you are not going to store their names against their order, because then you are going to write you'll be writing first name, last name, and everything. But what you do is that you write them against the customer ID. So when you now want to break them, you only bring the customer ID that appears on the customer customer table, the customer ID that appears on the other table, and then match them with their ID in the customer table. So basically, so when you want to do inner join, you look for which one is common. 1 is common there, 1 is also here. So that means George is in. So then the next one is customer ID 2 is there, and also customer ID 2 is there. So that means George is in. So customer ID 3 is in my order ID, and it's not even once, it's in 2 places. So I'm bringing I'm checking for that particular customer with customer ID, which is Thomas. So Thomas is going to appear in 2 places, and also in 2 places with different order date and order amount, because I'm going to bring this order date and also this order amount, and on another date also he orders this amount and on this particular date. So that's what you want. That's the inner join. So one also, the one that is simple, so simple, which a lot of people will even find it so complex, but so simple, is the left join. It's so simple that you consider your left hand. It's as simple as that. So what you're going to do is that regardless of what is happening in your right hand table, you want to bring every data in your left hand. So that means that 1, I want to bring every data in my customer table. So even if there's no matching pair in the order table. So let's walk through this again. 1, I've got my customer ID. So now, of course, my customer is in is my left hand. It's in the left hand. So now I'm going to bring all my customers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't care if they've got any matching one here. If they do have, that's fine. Then I'm going to bring their order. So technically, this is saying that please bring all the customers in this table and let me know if they've ordered anything or not. So which means that when you have your data, you're going to have some places that know. So like for instance, George has got some orders. John has also ordered. Thomas ordered twice on this day. But James, the two James, haven't got any order at all. So the first thing you want to bring, like, it doesn't matter what happens in your right hand, you bring everything in your left hand. So I'll say that again. That means that, for instance, right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in your customer ID. So you look at the first one, number 1. Yeah, I've got number 1, so it's coming. Number 2, I've got number 2 also, it's coming. So cost which is order ID, order date, and also amount. Then also customer ID 3. Customer ID 3 has got 2 orders. So it's going to appear twice in that table. I'm going to resort. So, but customer ID 4 as is not does not appear here, but I don't care. But I want it to still appear in my join because I want to have all the list of the customers in my data. So I'm going to bring that. But what's going to happen is, like, when I bring James Madison, so in the order table, order date and amount column, it's going to be null because they haven't got anything in the order table. The same thing also with James Moore. So it's going to have, I'm going to return that, but in the order date and amount, it's going to be null. So that's what you have in this case. You have George with his order date and amount. You have John Adams with order date and amount. You have Thomas also with order date. But Thomas Jefferson had 2 orders, so you bring those 2. But James and also the 2 James haven't got any order. So the same way also in the right join, you just flip it the other way around. So you want to bring all the orders, but so in the right join, in this case right now, so you say this is my left side and this is my right side. So the same way also, I want to bring every order in my every order that I've got, then whether they appear on this particular customer or it's not in this customer, I don't care, but I'm going to make sure that all these orders are represented. So what you're going to do is that, from this table, where is the table? Yeah, from this table we have order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So order 1 is from George, that is coming, so it's got a matching pair. So order 2, so as I was saying, so in orders, so you have order 3 is coming from John, so I'm also returning John Adams as the one that supplied ordered for the order 3. Order 4 also is from Thomas, so it's going to be returned also. Then order 5 is from customer ID 10, which is not here. So when I display my results, it's going to come, but it's going to have a null data. So the same way also with order 9, it's going to have a null data because I don't have it in my customer, so in my customer table. So, but however, I'm particularly interested in my right table. So everything in my right table, all the tables in my right table should come, even if they don't have a matching pair. in my left table. So that's what you're going to have. That's what you have here. So you now have all my orders listed here. So the one with the matching customer are listed also, but the one without the matching customer, they've got a null value. So that's that. So if you have any question on that, let me know. So because that's one of those difficult parts that people do miss even, and it's been asked every time at interviews. So the full join, to be honest, is I don't think it's something that people should do. So if you don't, so it just lists all the record on both sides, to be honest. So, and you can see even this is like matching, putting the left join and the right join together, apparently. So it's like now you have those ones, the inner join, you have the inner join plus the left join, and also you have the inner join plus right join. So technically, I think I would say, as you can see from above, this is our inner join. So your left join is going to be inner join plus some data that appears only on the left join. So where your right join is going to be your inner join plus those data that appear only on your left table. So those are that ones. So yeah. So the other ones I've talked about, the join, full join, sub join, union. I think it's just those two tables. So it's like just bring them together. So I will talk about the group by and having, I think then we call it now. So group by. So in some cases you want some data, but you could as well group them into different heading, right? So for instance, you have some customers, I think we talk about the count. So I want to count how many customers is in a country. So, and how do you do that? You group them by country, basically. You group them by country. So I think it's kind of English-like, isn't it? But you want to have, I want to know how many people or customers are in each country. So, and what you're going to do is like, you want to say count. When you put your count, then you want to say, I want to count by customer IDs because that is kind of unique. Then also by country, but I want to group them based on my country. So when you use group by, it's very, very important that anything you put, any columns that you put in your group by is also in part of your select statement. You can say group by city. That is not going to work for you. So you can say now it's no. So because I don't, hold on. If I do that, then I can see that for this particular city it's got 1. For this particular city it's got 1. So then I can actually bring that out. So the same way like that. So and so for first, okay, I want to group them by countries. So I know that now Argentina has got 3 people, Austria has got 2 people, on and on like that. So you group them based on that. So having clause and yeah. So it's, to be honest, yeah. So it's another way to put your condition. So when you group by people, but you now group based on that particular condition. So and exists. So also the same way you want to select a from a table, but you want where that particular, this is kind of what they call a query inside another query. But I'll quickly do that as an example, then we call it in. So now this is an example that say, okay, I want to bring supplier name, but from suppliers table, but I want only those ones that has got product name. So those ones that got the product name, but my product name is stored in a different table. So this is going to, okay, let's try to run that one after the other. So I know my time is really up, so I'm going to do this quickly. So any questions? So I think you should put it in the chat before. So this brings all the customers suppliers name for us. So but now you want to restrict them based on those one that they've got products. So what we could do is, the first thing, let's see what the first that oh, okay, all right, that seems to be an error. Oh, okay, where customer, I think because that is from, that is from customer suppliers. Yeah. So now what's trying to say now is these are my products, right? So that what is going to return to me. So but now I want to say select supplier that are supplying this particular product, where product name is from product, but I want supplier which equal to those supplier from this supplier ID. Oh, I got nothing. Oh, okay. Apparently, we just have to, I think I've been chased out of the room. So basically, I think that's just in terms of SQL. So most importantly, if you're going for interview, I would say you need to look into the joins. You need to look into the select statement, the distinct one, and all the where clause, insert and update. So, but anything, the join is very, very important. The two type of join. So thank you everyone. So we talk later. So I'll try to catch up on the other one. So I've been chased out of the room. So because I'm actually at the office now. So okay, all right. Talk to you later. So.